Guys, I am at a bit of a loss because on one hand, the brand new weapon is extremely strong and I can see the vision and where it's ultimately going for Jinwoo with the new Winter Fang here. But on the other hand, I still have trouble recommending it, at least for a lot of people, over the wind variation, specifically for the workshop content. So we're going to talk about it. I hope you all enjoy. Hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Now, firstly, I actually think Winter Fang is super good. Like, I think this is a tier 0 weapon in and of itself. And so some of my commentary about it isn't really about the weapon itself. It's more about the water setup for Jinwoo. The water team itself is fine, but the water setup for him with his other weapon, his runes and all that stuff. So firstly, just to give you a brief rundown, this thing, similarly to the Truth Fang, has a call out to the Wolf Assassin Blessing Stone. So you can use this without it, similarly again to the Fang or the dagger, whatever it's called, but you do get the bonus. So you're gonna get isolation, which gives you 30% damage and crit hit damage there. And this is infinite duration, so you're just gonna have this icon above your status bar for Sung the entire fight on everything you do. So that's great, unlike the dagger, which I guess is limited because it's a free weapon. But that effect where it gets the boss slayer portion only triggers in encore missions unless they changed that. I'm hoping they did. Did they change it? We'll find out here right now. But yeah, so Wolf Assassin Blessing Stone is equipped that he activate. Yeah, entering the instance dungeon activates dungeon killer. Yeah, so only in instance dungeons, unfortunately, but it is what it is. But wait, hold on. Casca's Gaze is the Demon Slayer effect. Yeah, okay. So Casca's Gaze. So actually, okay, hold on. So you still can use this. I misunderstood this or misremembered it. So Dungeon Killer is not the same. Casca's Gaze is its own thing. So you just don't get Dungeon Killer, which is crit hit rate damage, and then Vanishing Shade always deals water elemental, which is an insanely strong effect, by the way, Vanishing Shade effect. So if I'm understanding it correctly here on this quick read, you can still get that second portion. So maybe you should be skewing more that way. Most of my commentary is on the Thetis and all that stuff. But yeah, you get that effect, and then if it does work the way I think it does with that dagger, then that's a good combination. Basically, you put on Wolf Assassin and you get these bonuses. You don't really see so much, like, you know, otherwise, like, it doesn't say that on the Wolf Assassin itself, of course. It's just something that's passively activated. But basically, Wolf Assassin is just a placeholder. It is what it is. So on paper, it turns into the best Blessing Stone in the game by giving you 30% damage and then crit hit rate as well, or crit hit damage, excuse me. And then the way this thing works otherwise is that it's got one skill, but the one skill has 3 different variations. And when you use water skills, and you get dupes in it anyway, when you use water skills, every skill, including your water, QTE, everything, every water-based movement that you do increases your power gauge, which has ulterior bonuses, right? So you can throw your first ultimate extremely early. So I typically wind up doing that, but other than that, you need to have your power gauge at certain thresholds to get the other attacks, if I remember correctly with this. But you can throw 3 moves and it's going to hit pretty hard and keep you going with that. I actually think because it can be used 3 times, I think it probably works really well with something like Big Rock or something like Reawakening or Intuit builds or things like that are cooldown based or skill spam based. I think that type of setup works really well with the Scythe, so keep that in mind too. But the attacks ultimately get stronger as you go with more dupes as well, but pretty much the skill can be used 3 times. It charges power gauge, and then based on, you know, the power gauge, it does the different attacks. And then with this dupe here, the third one, it automatically starts you with a half full power gauge, which is really strong too. So my commentary on the water setup is that I think that and this could just be some of that could just be that I don't have the highest level versions of them yet, which I can obviously forcefully do. But I just thought that the runes and stuff are just largely underwhelming. And what I mean by that is, like, I think this is good. The damage modifier is solid. The shield is really strong. I think that the frostbite here is really good, and then the frostbite on this one as well is really good. But if I were to use them, I probably wouldn't use the ones that have so much freeze if you're trying to use Thetis, because Thetis also, you know, that both freezes go on a cooldown. It's just kind of a wonky setup overall. So I think you're better off using the frostbite. However, I don't think you can put on multiple frostbites. So it's just wonky. there's just too much overlap with the water skills in my opinion. So I think with this, you're still better off using a wind-based team for Sung specifically. But then I think the water team is probably better. And then the annoying thing about Yagami that completely invalidates half of the water stuff is that Yogamut, he actually has an immunity to freeze. So what are you using all this for? And it's extremely, and the next best content I guess will be like taking on Beru or Ant King in instance dungeons whenever he's up once every couple weeks or whatever. But he's annoying because he constantly recurs the break gauge, and then you can't freeze the enemy when they're in that state. And so some of that, a lot of that's just, like I said, a commentary on the stuff around the water setup for Jinwoo. I just don't think that it's great. Like, it's just weird. Like wind is just far better as a setup with weapons, or just better synergy than there is with water. Like, I don't know if water has enough. So anyway, while I think the weapon itself is really strong, and I'll show you some of that, I just don't know if it's worthwhile to really go crazy for, just because of the fact that I think the stuff around it is just kind of whatever, right? So here, and maybe, like I said, just everywhere in general, you could be better off using this. I think that the Grimoire is just better naturally because of deep erosion and then all that stuff. But you may be better off. I don't know. I'd have to test it out. I'd have to reread the kit also on Thetis just to make sure I'm thinking about it the right way. So that took off 17,000 power. My God. So yeah, I think probably Big Rock winds up being a really good shadow for this, just because you use that skill 3 times. My Jinwoo currently has the Intuit build on, so I'm going to show you guys kind of a little bit of. Does he have Intuit on? I'm pretty sure he did. Pretty sure he had it. You guys probably saw it. I'm pretty sure he had like a flux split, or he should have Intuit on, but he doesn't. So I will be putting it on right now over Reawakening. But yeah, you do need to have that placeholder on there, of course. So let's do that. We'll go from there. But what do you guys think about the weapon? Let me know. Like I said, I think the weapon itself, I don't really have a question about the quality of the weapon. I think it's really good. I wonder about the stuff around it again. So here's how the weapon looks. So you use it once, twice, thrice, and that's how it is. So the cooldown is also like 15 or 16, whatever. Maybe better to also put Reawakening on. I don't know. There's just kind of a lot there. Anyway, so that's where things are a little bit tricky though. And it doesn't, if you're thinking like it can shoot across the map or teleport behind the enemy like a shadow step, it does nothing like that. So you need to make sure you use these 3. And then if you delay at all, you have room to do maybe one quick thing and then it's done. Right? And it's the same as well between the second and third attacks too, so you don't really have a lot of time like a dagger or like a magnifying, where you have just a, and then you also have that meter to tell you like how much time you have. This one for whatever reason doesn't really have that meter. They just want you to kind of get into it immediately. So like that's kind of how that one looks. You have time basically to do a core attack or just an attack in between if you really want to do that, but realistically you're probably just best off just throwing them anyway. And it would work really good with Thetis if you could get the freeze into erosion. I have to go back and confirm whether Thetis actually needs the freeze or not. It didn't look like it did, because deep erosion triggers regardless, right? But it would be nice if you could get that effect, because if I remember correctly with Thetis, you get that extra damage for the duration of them being frozen that you did. Anyway, so we're gonna just kind of demo it here really quickly. Let me turn off the supports. That's fine. Whatever. Also, let me just restart this. Another thing that's kind of annoying about these guys is that Beru specifically, what I was saying, like he's the next best fight, I guess. The thing that's annoying is that he gets the break gauge so consistently, and you can't freeze or anything like that in the break gauge, and he's just got so much movement, and so many of the skills freeze, and then they get on a cooldown for freezes as well. They're just terrible construction. All right. We got those attack increases, so we did some solid damage already to push him this far. Obviously we've got a nice gap. This is not like, you can scale Beru as much as you want, but right now I'm just trying to show you more or less how this all works. You can scale them as much as you want, but we did a good amount there to start things off. And I do also, like, if you're using this, I do really like the synergy that the water team itself provides as support. You get the attack and then water, or you get the attack and damage cut from Mei Lin, you get the damage increases and then water damage increase from the other two girls. I really do like that. We're gonna exit here and then go into a proof of the strong version of this. I don't we'll push it to level 14 just so we're a little bit above the threshold. I think we're, because we took off the 17,000. Yeah, I mean, we'll go down one more level. That's it. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, we'll go on with this. Also, I don't have it at 120 yet. I have those precision designs. I just need to go exchange for them. All right, so let's go in here. This will be a more normal outlook.
Are you a king?
And so keep your eye on the power gauge. As you see, we're already halfway charged. Keep your eye on the power gauge. So when I do this stuff, it's gonna fill that power gauge up.
This is the end. You can't avoid.
Even the water QTE, as you saw, it all just overlaps. Now we've got an instant ultimate, which I think is really strong. There's the break.
It's no use.
Here, we're gonna throw the ultimate. If you do the early ultimate, you want to get going again with more skills in between, because this is what happens. You're not able to use the other skills. And so you're not really getting the full effect, right? Because it stacks the effect, the silver marking or whatever, a couple of times with the extra dupe in there. So you're not really getting the full effect otherwise. And welcome back into the break gauge, which once again introduces its own problems because he can't be frozen if you wanted to freeze him. So I put a little bit of stock in the freezing, probably too much, admittedly. It's just nice to have that extra utility anyway, though. Okay. He hit me right when I was gonna hit him. That's hilarious, bro. All right, one. I'll let the second one get eaten by the shield, and the third. Oh, ooh! He hit me 4 times. I miscounted that. All right, let's go here. Okay, so far so good. I'll bring you in. And the drops, yeah. Got this break gauge back.
How many levels?
Look at the fire. Chill, dog. What are you doing? Leave me alone.
Shut up.
Just leave me alone, bro. My God. Can you be nice? Jeez. Who taught you those manners? So, look at that shield, by the way. That shield is fat. That shield was fat, dude. I may actually like this skill more than I thought. That shield was fat. That was a lot of shield. It was a lot of shield. So ultimately, though, yeah, I think that there is something here with the water setup in general. I still, no matter what, regardless of what weapons you use, like whatever you choose as a secondary, Thetis or whatever, I still don't actually. Let me see if the other weapons, there's like what, 2 more weapons. I still don't like the runes around it though. And the last thing on that topic is, since that's dual traded, I think that you're probably more likely to have wind weapons and stuff invested because they've been out for longer. I think that just makes the most sense. And so I think that also pushes the water weapon down just a little bit further down the totem pole for things that I think you should invest in for Sung as well. You've probably already got water or wind built up. So if that's the case, then obviously that means you don't have to worry as much about it. So I wanted to actually pull up the water weapons for Sung. And then they also dropped another wind weapon, so that's funny. It's Scatty. I was like, well, there's something else. I know there's Scatty, and then it's the surf thing. Is there any reason to use Scatty? Does Scatty wind up being underrated now as a secondary? Let's quickly review. When hunting is used, it activates last hunt and applies Scatty's blessing effect. Oh yeah, that gives you that circle, huh? It removes Scatty's blessing when last hunt hits. Okay, attack the target with Scatty's curse. Inflict freeze. Scatty's curse is a 7-second debuff. Deals damage equal to 200% of the user's attack. Okay, so why is that effect up there and not down here? That's kind of funny. Okay. Anyway, Scatty's blessing. Where is that triggering from? When Hunter is used, it activates last hunt and applies the Scatty's blessing effect for 7 seconds as well. So Scatty's blessing increases the user's attack and defense penetration. by 3% for 10 seconds, but it says 7 seconds up here, by the way. Okay. Attack increased by 3% and defense penetration by, that's just not very much. It's just not very much. The domain here, I was like, I know there's something else in here, like the little circle. Yeah, the domain. When any attack lands well into the domain, it deals damage equal to 50% of the user's attack. Ooh. Increase team members' elemental damage within the domain too. Oh, how long does the domain last though? 7 seconds. Oh, that may be. Are we in scatty meta? And then there's enhancements down here. Stacks up to 4 times. That's pretty good. By default, they didn't stack at all. Like the first version is garbage, but it stacks now, so that's really good. Infinite duration as well. Whew. Are we in scatty meta? Decrease the cooldown of winter hunting. Enhances last hunt, deals damage equal to 1000% of the user's attack to the target with the Scatty's curse effect. But wait, Scatty's curse was for 7 seconds or 10 seconds supposedly? It can't make up its mind. I'll have to go back and read it thoroughly. And when last hunt hits, it removes Scatty's curse. Okay. Huh. And last hunt is a winter hunt changes to last hunt. I hate how convoluted this stupid game is with this stuff. Yeah, it triggers last hunt when you use that. I hate how convoluted this game is with that stuff where it's like this does that and it turns into this and this happens when that happens. Oh my god. Are we in scatty meta though? It's got a stupid freeze, but like who cares? I don't really care about that. Are we in scatty meta? That's actually, that seems legit. The elemental increase, the attack increase, and the defense penetration. It actually low-key is a really good support weapon. Am I seriously gonna entertain this thing? Yeah, I'm not gonna entertain this. I'd have to compare. I'd have to actually go through and compare. Not getting Dungeon Killer kind of sucks. Dungeon Killer is a strong effect. We may be in scatty meta. Huh. Maybe Scatty's made a return. Like, I need to test that out. I haven't tried it. I haven't even thought about it because Scatty is just so old of a way. It's like Scatty is like legit what, the second weapon they released post global launch, third weapon, like right after Moonshadow, right? Like it was the next one. It's so old. Haven't considered it in so long. I don't know, I need to see it, but we'll see. But it's definitely been a meme this whole time. It's never been like a weapon that's like, oh, you need to for sure. I don't know. I think Scatty for sure is better than Thetis Grimoire, assuming Deep Erosion once again works the way I'm thinking it works and not the way it probably read like it works. I think it's for sure better in Workshop, which is interesting. So with that being said, what do you guys think about the new weapon? Once again, like I said, I think that the water setup is good, but above all else, I mean, there's no questions with the wind team. I mean, the Stormbringer, I mean, shoot, even if you've got a super stacked up longsword, maybe like the longsword's not bad. The daggers, of course, the break rune is great for armor break, of course, reducing the enemy's damage or increasing damage received. You've also got that wind magnifying slashes, whatever it's called. You've got a few, and then you've also got the power gauge increase break if you want that. Like you've got, I think wind is just set. So I think, and since it's been out longer also, I think more people have put a lot of resources into that. So overall though, that's my review. Hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. And if you watch the entirety of the video, thank you so much. That is the most important thing that happens on YouTube. It does help out tremendously. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Support for free codes linked down below, and I'll see you in the next video.